Islam and like the page. Remember to share. Go to Google Play Store, upload Tip Radio app and listen to us. Tip Radio and Tip TV, we preach the truth.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ede tweda mpa yankopon se humobro fo hino de fo hini. Eno echi ne bese ne humobro na sumdwe enko enfama ekomisheni Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam oni ne chi difo ne saba fo ne abedni chakosida kwa matamoda Allahumma amin. Unanu mejidi fo a mutien ewo Tip Radio so ena fe so mo a mo hwen ewo social media handle no so Tip TV na fe so Tip TV Islam or YouTube no so any Facebook no so inshallah yes so e de yankopon so mdwe nchia echicho mu nyinara ene mo ama WhatsApp no so nyinara Tip International mjide so yankopon tumi mu no obiara ewa hoden amodin mutie na mo hwa no na mo ba mo de se mo so mo hye se na be afoforo so bedi hu emfaso de de hire kase ama wi asmase ne dan cha kwa ma atemoda business lai taala samo hwe program no mu se e bavol kakra mo fancha na se weda no Muhammad say June July die any area na yewono edutambia 1 or 2 occasions be ya face network challenges, but it's not all that more yankopon ye ni enfame ende kosiada ede kronkron yankopon hira mu ema o yankopon tumi mu nanka ede aware ho nsem na de bebre gide for, but ende first opportunity ne de comparative host ede abra ejide for from Malam Abdulkarim Lafia de shiraka se de ame we asma se ne da chankwa ma atemoda na ende comparative host no kasetira edaso and say was Abraham to sacrifice Ismael or Isaac and some bisa bebrebe a na amanfo ebisa questions aye eba titiru wa bra yakwa wura idil adam aye salaka sie na yekum odwan ne ntwie ne abrechie ne nasefo no na amanfo ebisa se anasa nan Muslims no omuta ebisa se de nti ne yekum sa amwa we na anu ye de ma omo ne se afodebo a Nyankopon wo share Abraham se won fa ne bakoro enfo mbo afode enfama no ena Nyankopon oso no hwe no ena ono so odi so ena odi nso he no so nkunim ena Nyankopon odi odwan ebeye nimpa ne nsia ne mefise Nyankopon won pe moja edibima ehwegu na ekoba no sa na omo ebisa se Bible mu no mo se Isaac ena ene no ebo afade na ade na Quran mu no yesi Ismael na anu ye ne se obisa omo se Ismael ene Isaac wan ena yedi nkan ewo no Ismael ene Isaac wan ena Abraham edi nkan ewo no obisa Christian biara read Bible biara beka cho se Ismael na obisa se scripture na Yankopon ka se Abraham fa ne ba enfombo afode se no kan Yankopon ka se your only son wo ba koro na kire se ne ba eba foforo eni nechi saa eba no ene yemfa no mbo afode enti no bi ma na se kire se abra Yankopon ka se Abraham fa ne ba koro mfombo afode no saa time no na onya enwo ye fensen Isaac na se onya enwo ne ba koro nechi yes se saa for the bono nanka Isaac na chese na enye nsohwe ema no afisem nenti a great test anase nsohwe kase ene se Abraham wo eden obompa ye saa se ne yere a wore na Sarah ebe ma ne ba but eba na ene ambam awo Yankopon tumi mu sa na Yankopon eden eye no ena Sarah de na funa ema ye fensen Abraham awade ye higa no ko no no wo ye wo na babarima ba kope na suzampa se watina sina wa bompa ye modin se wo Yankopon tumi mu no wo pe eba na wonya bi na Yankopon adomu babarima ba kope na esefo no bo afade a eno na eye nsohwe mu odin enso Abraham edu mu de enkunim nti wodi adanse se Yankopon so Abraham hweye wa bra no wo ebabra ba kope that is Ishmael Satan na yen wo Isaac na ye den na mo de Isaac ekwohye wo ana ye den question mark kese nde baba bem ne atretrem ne ri nhyira kese e de ama ye wiasma se ne atemuda e ba fa ya ho de ni nyina dodo na firi bible mu efi se ewo ana errors na den ewo na eye sa topic we be kwa wiye no na wo ye badwumba no na wo hu se ne etie Allahu akbar na obisa wo mu se adanti na Nyankopon se ne bakoro na mu se ye Isaac wa abra na Ismael no ya abakan aye wo no wo mu se Ismael de na sabe oyo dwamamba oyo entino obi a obeka se Ismael ye dwamamba no wedidi Abraham atem na Genesis chapter 12 amayati asese obi biara obedumi Abraham na so beka se kire Abraham no Yankopon so bedumi no entino biara de biara o ka se Abraham ne ba Ismael ayam penaba no saa ni mpakuro no Yankopon no me eden e wono so Genesis chapter 12 bizin Allah ta'ala yes enti o Yankopon tumi mu no yan hwe se Abraham oni hega twempra na so ware no dedi kan so ware ne dia na kire se eye hega wanyam pena yere nemum no eden eye awade ankasa na eden ye ware no sanity na ye befa ya kin kan sam no different versions of Bible na ya hwe na edi adanse edi a kire yen afa nkontompon sama eye wo mu a pensa trofo no wo mu translate ye na omudi bi ewurawuru mu a omudi bi ehihiem na edi shiraka se da mai wiasma sei ene da chankwa ama atemuda bizinillahi ta'ala. Okay, Genesis chapter 16 verse number 1. Also now Sarai, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abraham, behold, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abraham had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abraham to be his wife. Way I King James version and American. Mo say aye Ismael oyam panabano. Eno ene ye ba bebu no. O kan King James version am was say Abraham waware Sarah no. Na Sarah wonwo yame aso na hwe. Na owo afuna baabi a ye fen Hagar a oye Misrim ni Egypt ni. Na Sarah ekekire Abraham se Yankopon atum miyem a mentumi enwo. Eni ti no mapese wo bekwa mafuna ne nchen bia na eba afimu ade aba. Enti no abra Abraham wote sa akasa we free Sarah ho no. Wotena aye kana na asase no so mfie du wa abra na wodwen Yankopon mpene so na so wodwen ho se Yankopon ma na kwanya. Enti abra Yankopon ma na kwanya no ena Sarah wode na funa Hagar edema Abraham awade. Enti no according to King James no Sarah aware Hagar edema why Abraham. Allahu Akbar. Yes. And it's no okay King James version now. Was it in? Was it our dear? Was it our dear? Now, I can good news, Sunusa, Munchi, the one and throne ever. Yes. Abraham's wife, Sarah, where? Good news, Bible. Abraham's wife, Sarah, had not borne him any children, but she had an Egyptian slave woman named Hagar, and she said to Abraham, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Why didn't you sleep with my slave? Perhaps she can have a child for me." Abraham agreed with what Sarah said, so she gave Hagar to Abraham to be his concubine. Allahu Akbar. What you say? King James, or say wife. Good news, or say concubine.
Tip radio. Nekrenkwa.
And error on a status ever. Now concubine and wife cannot never be the same. Yet the Nina Tonche says the original manuscript. Now a word bang and no more translate ya. Akwadani different bakwa yere bakwa mpena. And to where the dance professor no kura ewo baby. And I yedi esuma. Because of same. One more translate woman himself Ismael has said and a commission Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam if free I be Islam. And for this reason, more time Islam nintino. One more episode or more than Yankupon some son a bay a say, Bibi Biara every Arabia a buy Biara in Yandi Papa. Son on person made Wamo Echre. Allah Kubar. Na brebi abucho kontompono na Yankupon suno eyoto. And this different translation amana clear say ne kura wa baby no ana mu edi esie. Na obi baka say na se Abraham aware Hagar dia ena koye no hwade ema hwan. Yes. Question ayana a Christian for as a pastor sin bi ebisa no. Se Abraham ne dem wo ware Hagar ena koye no hwade ema hwan. Yes. Mo amubisa sa asem bi se ni ndara no ye ni. In those days, when you buy a slave, sauto akwa anasa afuna ayawodia forever. You stand to be his mother and his father, or her mother and her father. Sauto afuna anasa edobi ma onese obadane wakwa anasa wafuna. Wayo obi bia. Wona ojina mumani bibia. Wakoto sa afuna no. Sa afuna ne ye den. Wona oya sa afuna ne ewura. Enti no wo tumi e wono so se oni ne be ye de opese oni ne bia. If say she has become your property. Sana those days no etie. Enti no obi biara enne tumi e wo sa afuna no so. Ajisa wo sana tie etino abra Arabia Empire omototo slaves na sana tie say ye tonwa your parent has no right on you, including all your family members. They have no right on you. The owner of the slave decide what he or she want to do with that slave. Sana tie. Yes, even crano, and then they are any slave trade crano. Say Okafo Biba, and I say, we bush nibi, I bet now on chain, no your baba, no shana no doom pensobi, no Odru say, was so our dear. Wow, here na, Onyini Yano. Na a yana Pembe Bruno, Sanim Pano, and Odinamu, I may a worry Salbano. Yes. nti no behu se obi pa so be wore sa oba na nipa na ohwe no akọ oba na nkesa na maame ne papa ho na o ma ka so ne se oba we de wan nkesa oba wa na watete na bedu sa be we be me be wore no nti wo de ya jatum gina na bibia Allahu akbar anu kra yen slave no and ni na say Sarah had 100% power on Hagar. In fact, Sarah owned Hagar. Na Sarah ena waya Hagar ewura. And I say, well no, ena ye fencing yedi Hagar ema no ema ebeda ne na funa. Enti na Sarah ejina ho say papa ne mame ema Hagar. Enti no she can decide to do anything. Enti no nura. Enti no anam se enya ne blood enti no na oho kwan so betumi aware de Abraham. Enti no Sarah ede Hagar ema no awade. Now when we're talking about marriage awade to marry a slave I say yebeka so ye dia oba na ma awade free and so betue bibi e dia ma slave no nura. That is the agreement I said then eba and you know na Sarah gina so a what Hagar ema Abraham awade ntina Sarah tumi so de Hagar eba ma Abraham awade sa time no it doesn't matter. So master no so your bow so your bema nobody can stand for you to marry except your master or your mistress. Ntina Hagar our 100% power Sarah had 100% power on what? Hagar. I know the Hagar Emma Abraham awade. And someone tiasia ana ya tiachire mu no mon tiasie and one ya intino out of animosity and hatred. So you have decided to not accept the truth. Sanity. Allah Akbar. And so I am coupon to me mono. Hagar obey Abraham's second wife. And now Ismael. And Ismael be Abraham the firstborn. Yes. And you know, yeah, dear be our say, young jumping verse 7, Genesis chapter 16, verse number 7. Near here, ye come penaba, and penaya dear Yankupon wants to so no bar a bewa bra onion one dear. Yamin so sadian. If you say, a German bought Babiara Noir of a Yankupon him, and Yankupon in Nishi. Genesis chapter 16 verse number 7. The angel of the Lord met Hagar at a spring in the desert on the road shore and said, Hagar, slave of Sarah, where have you come? Where have you come from and where are you going? Somewhere see and say, Abraham or call Hagar and channel and Hagar fire funu. Na Abraham Hagar fire funu no. Enam say na oba fire funu a ahode akura no esote na akwaduro ababeto no so. Oba fire funu a na ne suban asesa na ne neye asesa. Enti na enam say na Sarah won fire funu da na wanyame da ni nti no. Na de ekoso no akoda na akuratwe ewo no ene na funa no entem. Efiso mu ina ware ba ma ba kun. Enti na Sarah ehunu say what Hagar ade bi so onya Hagar nya ne sa o ka so onye se ya ine saba enti no Hagar ye se ene sa de a obepa no mode se obodwane se ne be yo be na somdwe enti abra wo dwane no ena Yankopon bofo ehia no verse number 7. Ya me bofo no ehia no our desert so. I find the road to shore. Eho ena obofo no ebisa say Hagar, Sarah afuna, na himfa ana ufiri na himfa na oko. Obia waya mpena, obia yene na atwe mpena wafa yefunu. Nyame soma no na bofo ema ne ba na wo mani yeye. Just ye nuanu mo mutumi yi concept be odwene ho a wonti ase.
Tip radio ne kroenkwa.
Sa otwe mpena na wona mpena no fa yefunu. Na sa empena twe yefunu no. Edwaman yefunu no. Sen Yankopon ni je ho. Na otumi soma na bofo ema ne ba fesite ode. Ana obi ankobo edwaman. Yes. But I say ya wade a divine a Yankopon se wo mu a Yankopon hira so ntino. Yankopon soma a obofo so nko bisa Hagar so free for no kwahin. Ana Hagar eyi na no. She answered, I am running away from my mistress. Ana Hagar yi na no say me dwane de free me wura nchen. Yes. Allahu Akbar. Ni wura nchen wo dwane de e free. He said, go back to her and be her slave. Ana obofo no ka kire Hagar say, "San ko wura Sarah nchen na kwadane na funa." Then he said, I will give you so many descendants that no one will able to count them. You are going to have a son, and you will name him Ismael, because the Lord has heard your cry of distress. Allahu Akbar. Mati. Etino abafana namba kasaka kewu. Wasanso ebe share nkwam. Dedi kan, de to sumienu esanso be to akwala na ehye ne yem no edin. Obofo na obeto Yesu Kristo edin no anaso obe share nkwam se ba wu Yesu no. Sa obofo na na ebe beto eye Ismael edin. Wa bra o hye yefunu yenyan de enwo no. Empena ba na Yankopon tu ne din no. Na mwanja sa ensam ne kika ho. Enno me baba mo so wiase ma sen da chankwa matemu da no. Nobody can count it. So obeka say Ismael empena ba na Yankopon abotu ne din no. Empena ba ana Yankopon abotu ne din. Na obofo no eka say obaden obama Hagar na se adore. No obi biara obetumi akan nasefo. Allahu Akbar. Na obofan sanska chensen. Obaba wo ababunu. Na sa ababunu no matuni din se Ismael. Asese ne se Yankopon wo hu watete. Allahu Akbar. Yankopon no obabato akwara ne din no. Ere no kwara ne mpena ba. But your son will live like a wild donkey. He will be against everyone, and everyone will be against him. And he will live apart from all his relatives. Ana oshan kom efa nsema besi ewo na brabum. Ana obafa no say, na bom no tiamie. Ubaba erema no. Obaya den. Obaya ti se ofunu ponko a nani edinye. Na obasore ti obiara no bia basore ade etia no. Na obafiri dia nebusuafo enchen akwachichichiri. Ane ne sen enam say we commission ni ntino. He will preach against so many peoples. Na preaching na preaching edetia amanfo bebre no obaye na nieden so. Enche koba ne sa amanfo bebre betan no. Enche obaye tan. Ana enkwamsha na to aso say ne ebayi na free nebusuafo akwachichiri. Ene ne koba ne say Sarah ka say ompese afuna no ene ne ba no ene ne be che ne japade. Allahu Akbar. Can scriptures na mo say eyemode enso mo ntiasie. Verse number 13. Hagar asks herself, have I really sinned God and lived to tell about it? Ana Hagar ka say, "Hey, enti me hu Yankopon wa bra me da so atiase a me be sanso akokodi hu adansa atira foforo ana." But mind you, Hagar did not see God, but she saw the angel of God. You cannot see God and live. So she called the Lord who had spoken to her. No, ofre ewura na wakasa da kire no. a God who sees. Or see nyame a wohu. That is why the people call the well between Kadesh and Bered the well of the living one who sees. Hagar born Abraham a son, and he named him Ismael. Abraham was 86 years old at that time.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tip TV Islam on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Tip TV Islam, and like the page. Remember to share. Go to Google Play Store, upload Tip Radio app, and listen to it. Tip Radio and Tip TV, we preach the truth.
No cross some kwane baka okasafidi wesu bizi ni lai ta'ala. Yes. Afedie say enu anuma hu say Ismael wanyam penaba. If say ni din kwa na eda no so no efri nyame ho ne bae. Nyame tubofo na batu ni din ti say senia ye betu Yesu Kristo din a mo endem afa ne say mo nyame no. And Ismael mko fa ne say nyame. Nyame wonye nie emfamai. Bismillah ta'ala. Yes. Na yenhwe bibi e wa ase. Yankwa Genesis chapter 17. Abra apam eba Abraham. Ene eye nyankupo ntem no. A eye twetwetia apam no. Twetiatwa apam no. That's circumcision no. Na Ishmael I was saying, sa time no ne yen wo Isaac. Genesis chapter 17. Also, when Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am Almighty God. Obey me and always do what is right. I will make my covenant with you and give you many descendants. Abraham bowed down with his face touching the ground. And God said, I make this covenant with you. I promise that you will be the ancestors of all nations. Your name will no longer be Abraham, but Abraham, because I am making you the ancestor of all nations. I will give you many descendants, and some of them will be kings. You will have so many descendants that they will become nations. I will keep my promise to you and to your descendants in future generation as an everlasting covenant. I will be your God and the God of your descendants. I will give you and to your descendant this land in which you are now a foreigner. The whole land of Canaan will belong to you, to your descendants forever. And I will be their God. God said to Abraham, you also must agree to keep the covenant with me. Both you and your descendants in future generation, you and your descendants must all agree to circumcise every male among you. From now on, you must circumcise every baby boy when he is 8 days old, including slave born in your home and slave bought from foreigners. This will show that there is a covenant between you and me. Each one must circumcise, and this will be a physical sign to show that my covenant with you is everlasting. Allah Akbar. It was verse 19. Say, but God said, now your wife Sarah will bear you a son. And you know, Abra covenant, you know, Abemuno. Wahoo. And sana Abraham ne yere Sarah ne nkwamsha na eba verse 19 verse 23 wo elko no on that same day Abraham obeyed God and circumcised his son Ishmael. Yankopon bofo ebaye a wone ode Yankopon apam baye se Abraham wonye twetwetia apam no saa bre na yede nkom hye baye se yebewo Isaac na abra aye Arabian ne ye ko ho a ene flight ni bi etu moye labaika lahumma labaika la sharika labaik inna hamda wa nimata laka mulk ya la sharika labaik ene yes flight ni bi ko amanfo e ko yes enche bia o mestati ahwana no enche o Yankopon tumi mu no abra yedi muntie ne yedi Ismael Africa na asase no so ekwa Arabia asase no so no na yenya enwo Isaac tom after the sacrifice no after say Yankopon saw no Abraham hwe ewie no ena Abraham pass ye no ena Yankopon reward Abraham with another child, that is Isaac. So munima ye ka kire mo na yensha na kontomponsam tam no ko musumpasa mi wie sa topic we bayere Nko Genesis chapter 22 yehwe kontomponsam meka na ntentem na yakọ yewe be ko Quran mu nyame ehu ya mabo Genesis chapter 22 verse number 1 to 19. Sometime later God tested Abraham. He called him, Abraham, Abraham. Abraham answered, yes, here I am. Take your son. God said, your only son, what you say? Isaac. Nipa waumi no. Nipa waumi no. How can Isaac be his only son? And to the other say, Abraham sacrifice never take place no. Now Abraham obaba kupe. And that child was not Isaac, it was Ishmael. And you know, baby biara Ishmael wo biara no. No omo eyi ede Isaac abehye ho. Ishmael enfie no. No omo de akoma Isaac, no omo de Isaac enfie no de akoma den Ishmael. And na ekoso Bible no mu. Your only son just say wa Isaac on wo nechi. Ada na Ishmael we wu ana. Wa bra Genesis chapter 20 verse number 13. Yankopon say Ishmael too is your son. Until then Isaac kwaya ni only son. Ask yourself this common logic. One of them say Quran, it makes sense. We I say Quran, I say me pon. Na one so be say it was Ishmael and ebo for the name, it wasn't Isaac. Verse number 2, Genesis chapter 22 verse 2. Take your son, God said, your only son Isaac, whom you love so much. So, Bible is showing partiality here. And go to the land of Moriah, there on a mountain that will I show you, for him to sacrifice to me. Yes. Early the next morning, Abraham cut a wood for the sacrifice and loaded his donkey and took Isaac and 2 servants with him. They started out for the place that God had told him about. On the third day, Abraham saw the place in the distance. Then he said to the servant, stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there. Oh, say, I say now, when you know, na Ismael, you know, when ya a year 15 years, you used to boy the man. Oh, a boy. Na a didn't know we used to boy the man, wabra na it me a fan cry lullaby no net. These people, they have lost many peoples. The boy and I will go there and worship, and then we will come back. Abraham make Isaac carry the wood. So that time no, na Isaac 2 years ago, nyanya. Better was what wood no. Or better not why then was what. Yami uhuya mobo. Allahu Akbar. Nitia otwa mu so nkodu won na nyame ede abon bae. Anti kakra ma kan kra di adanse se. Enye Ismael, enye Isaac ne bo afode ne mum eyeden Ismael. Allahu Akbar. Ye hia ade a Quran network. Anti mo hia screen so a screen so na wo no. Na wo no me hia. Ahwe na egu no. Aba. Nche bia na best achieve dwumadi ne gidigidi na chese ye twa kakra na soso no chese nya 2000 na yeko the next batch ya mi shire mi papa. Yes, we started with nothing and we have able to do something, and gradually we are moving forward. Edan esi we say ne be esi we say ne be na video no so no eni we share dan inside edan ni inside no eni video no ko nenim kakra dano say na be yankopon wonye ni from me hospital wo ba be show ba be ma be hwe be ma inshallah be in light ala me fa mobile money line any and that's no what person sponsor and I say also cement ba ku anyo road dia no betumi dia ba number no and the screen no 0554 46 90 96 0554 46 90 96. Usa ne dia baba tuti sampichi international ne be ya dance yekese e dia me we asema se ne dachi ankwama atemoda mo hwe senior ade we si we fefefe na se yankopon boyen na etumi epeje de siwa nhire obenya ne yasam ketwa sadakatu jaria.